Okay.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. Welcome to another Girl Meets World after show. It's been a while. This after show is kind of late, but
Yeah.
I guess better late than never. So we're going to talk about Girl Meets Belief and Girl Meets the New Year. And I'm joined today again by the awesome Heavenly Gal. So thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
No problem. Unfortunately, Sean can't be with us today, but
Yeah.
hopefully next time. We miss you, Sean. He always has good input. And also, I just want to say, I usually do this on my main channel, but I'm not able to do Hangouts until April. So that's what I'm doing on this channel in case people are confused. And also, I want to start doing shout outs for, I'm sorry, I keep moving because I keep moving my laptop. I want to give shout outs to people that comment on the last video. So in the last after show, Robert, Morand, and Sally Bob commented. So thank you for commenting. I like when people actually, comment. It's nice to hear from other people and different perspectives and things like that. So, if you comment on this video, I'll, give you a shout out on the next one. So thank you, for interacting with us. So we'll start with Girl Meets Belief, and we'll start with your positives of the episode.
Okay, overall, I did really like this episode, and I liked the Joan of Arc aspect to it. I think Joan of Arc could have been used more than they did, but yeah, and I liked the differing philosophies Maya and Riley took in finding the $5 bill, and whether or not they should pick it up or not, or yeah. And yeah, going with that, I liked how right in the initial moment, Riley had the simplistic idea just to replace it, which was just to keep it, and then Maya finding the second one.
Yeah.
And I'll start with Augie. He was just sweet and innocent this episode, and also realistic for his age.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved how the reveal at the end wasn't that he was talking to God, but Mrs. Savorsky. And I think that was a subtle and touching way to mention her again.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved Corey and Topanga with Augie in that last scene, and their silent reaction to each other after the reveal of who he's been talking to.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that was kind of summing up, maybe at least it was summing up my reaction to the way they did that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and yeah, I like those little moments we get with Corey and Topanga as a couple and as parents. And so I liked how each of the four characters took on their own positions, beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
and they were showing both standing by that side and also maybe questioning it too, to a degree. I found Lucas to be the relatable one in this episode, and how like his I liked his dynamic with both Farkle and Maya, and the kind of the advice, or it's not really advice, but that he gives to Maya about finding that quiet place. I liked, yeah. And yeah, I liked that whole conversation between Lucas and Maya, and the back and forth between Riley and Farkle, and the whole change partners bit throughout was, and how the way each pair kind of balanced off each other. And my favorite line of the episode comes from Riley when she says, or she kind of asks Farkle, "Did you ever think that when you look through a microscope, you miss the bigger picture?" I just found that to be insightful. And well, I like this Riley when she's like this. Yeah. And I liked how Farkle was like, no, but perhaps maybe that's something he'll be thinking about down the line.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I enjoyed the vacation and airport bits. They weren't really, in a way, they were kind of a waste of time for the whole point of the episode, but they were fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I liked the sarcastic comments made throughout the episode, or made twice in the episode, about how close Riley and Maya are.
Oh.
Like, first from Corey when he says, well, that'll keep the love alive, or something. Yeah, I'm sure. And then Lucas says, it is possible you two are too close.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Yeah. So, and yeah, I think that's it right now. So, if you want to go ahead.
All right. Well, I agree with you. I also really liked how we kind of got to see like each character's perspective on, you know, their beliefs, and I liked seeing, just like you said, like how, like the different teams when they would switch.
Yeah.
And I also like the little vacation scene. Even though, yeah, it doesn't really like add anything, but I guess it kind of just showed like how much, how they can't really like be without each other. Like it was like they're so close.
Mm-hmm.
And then Corey's line when like Topanga was with Augie, and then he's like, "Topanga, I'm lonely." I just thought it was really funny, and it reminded me of like Corey back in like Boy Meets World, you know. And then actually like well, I went to the taping for this episode, and I actually cried in like during the scene at the end when he with Augie and Corey and Topanga, and he says that he's talking to Forsky. So yeah, that really touched me. And it wasn't like when I went, they actually had told us it was her at the beginning, so I already knew that he was talking to her, because like Michael Jacobs kind of had to tell us, because he's like, at that time, like they hadn't showed the episode where she passed away yet, but he was like, he told us just so it would kind of make sense to us, and so we already knew like ahead of time that she was gonna die and everything. So, yeah, but it was just like those scenes with Augie, you know, talking to her, so sweet, you know. I reacted the same way, kind of like you and Corey, so kind of like, oh, it's so cute, you know. It's just perfect, and it's just, I don't know, it's just so sweet to see like how much he cares about her, and you know how he misses her. And I liked how, you know, they weren't really like talking about like one specific like religion or anything. They were just kind of like saying like, you know, kind of believe what you want to believe, I guess. So kind of like that, but they weren't saying like, oh, you should be this religion or whatever. So yeah, but there's one little issue I have with it. Not really a big issue, but that's gonna be like in my negatives, or in the negatives, or yeah, my negatives. And then I also like that Maya, when she said that she prayed, that she I like that she said she prayed for other people, and she basically like prayed for other people, and then, you know, not herself. So it kind of showed, you know, that she's kind of a, you know, she's a thoughtful person. So it was just, and then it was funny that like Riley was like, oh, I always like bug him about me. So it was kind of nice to see. You know, I never would have really thought that Maya was, I'm not that I think Maya's selfish, but it was just like, I don't know, it's just like, oh, she's really like a very generous person. I didn't really really think that too much about her, but because she's more of like the tough one or whatever, so it's kind of nice to see that, she likes to, she cares about other people too, enough to like not even pray for herself. So that's about it. So let's see, talk about negatives. Do you have any?
Yeah, just jump back quick to the positives. I also like the Corey's lesson in the episode in the classroom, but mostly what he says in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And also talking about that final scene you were talking about Maya saying she prayed. I agree too that it was sweet that Maya wasn't praying for herself, that she was praying for Riley and her mom and other people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but for some reason the first time I saw this episode, that scene, for some reason I thought that scene went, Maya prayed for Riley, for some reason what I heard, I don't know why, because after I realized I was mistaken, but I heard Riley say, "I can't stop bugging him about you," indicating. So then when I watched it again the second time, it was just a complete flip, and I completely, and I think I actually wish they went that way. I kind of liked thinking like that if the scene had gone that way, but
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, but it's also an honest way to end, and I liked Riley's line at the end, how she says, "I'll always have a lot to learn." So yeah, so I guess the negatives, just I didn't care for Corey chasing Lucas out of the bedroom. I just feel like we're beyond that. I mean, Lucas and Riley are friends. The four of them are friends. So I don't know. I just feel like we're beyond that. And I don't think the scene needed to end on a joke. It could have just ended with Corey leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, did you see the boot bucket at the end of the bed too?
Yeah, I thought that was funny. I was like, he's chased him out so many times. They have like half his shoes.
I think that was also a clue that this episode was intended to air much earlier in the season, because there were a few things that happened that they felt like early bits.
Yeah, and also I noticed Farkle still was wearing his turtlenecks.
So yeah, this was before yearbook, but yeah. And I also I didn't care for Farkle and Maya calling Riley selfish and greedy when she says she prays every day. Making the assumption that just because she or anyone has a seemingly perfect life, they shouldn't pray. And also giving the notion that praying is about wish fulfillment, which is false and superficial. And just to jump into my final thought, to continuing this, I also recognize that Farkle and Maya here are, while they're on the naive side of this, they're also they're still learning and discovering things. And Riley too, in a way, she's kind of on the naive side in this scenario, wanting everyone to believe what she believes.
Yeah. That was a funny line.
Yeah. So yeah. I think Lucas was probably the only one that probably didn't annoy me this episode. And who, like I said before, I found him the most relatable. Which is unusual, that hasn't happened that often. So with this, but yeah. And I think that's it with those two dislikes. But yeah.
Oh, okay. So I just want to say, I was at the taping. Well, I mean, I already said I was at the taping, but at the last scene where she when Riley puts her head on Maya's shoulder.
Yeah.
It's funny because they did that a lot, several times, because they couldn't find a comfortable way to do it. They're this is not comfortable. It's funny. They're yeah, this looks good, but it's not comfortable. It's just funny seeing them try different ways to do it. So yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I like those behind the scenes stuff. So thanks.
and okay, kind of the only thing I had an issue about was like Corey's example with the Roy G. Biv thing, because that's like a science. You know, you can like read them, like you know. I'm sorry because like I've studied about like I've taken classes on like climate and like natural sciences and everything. I'm just like that's in my book. So I mean, but people can believe different things. But I just want to be like, you're a teacher, and I mean, I know you're not a science teacher, but like that can also be explained with science. So that's kind of like the only little thing. But overall, I do like, I think the message, if I got it right, was that I guess it's like people should be free to believe what they want, I guess, and just be open to yeah.
And I think maybe also you can't necessarily see what you believe. Like when they were talking about what you see outside and then going into the apartment buildings, like you don't know what's going on in the apartment buildings. You just kind of make that logical assumption. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I expanded right there, but yeah. I found it interesting that Maya was the only one who didn't seem to remember that particular lesson in the first grade.
Oh yeah, I know.
And the way they had them all remember, it's as if they were all in the same class. But of course, we know Lucas didn't move there until last year. But I guess he got that same lesson too.
Yeah.
I don't remember learning about that, but in the first grade, or any grade, but yeah.
I think that's about it for me. I don't really have any other final notes for this episode.
Oh, was that your? What were you? Did you say your dislikes or?
Yeah, it was just like this Roy G. Biv.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, my final thoughts. I'm not sure what Thomas Edison was doing in the same lesson as Joan of Arc. I just had that question along, and I also think Joan of Arc could have been used more. Otherwise, why have her name solely on the board at the top of the scene?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And I think the $5 bill should have been found outside, like on the sidewalk or in the subway station, rather than in the school hallway.
Oh, okay.
I think that would have made more sense. And Riley's deep teenage belief system. I need more details on where her beliefs stem from.
Oh, okay.
Because I know the logical conclusion I think they want us to get from this is that it comes from her parents, but that doesn't really do it for me because I can't remember a time when we ever found out about Corey and Topanga, where Corey and Topanga stand on this matter either. So I think maybe a belief part 2 without it being part 2 necessarily, but they can dive into that. And the dialogue between Riley and Maya in the first cafe scene where they're starting to work on their assignment, how Riley says something like, you're not going to be any help on this, are you? And Maya's reply to her is, I have faith that somehow it'll all get done. To which Riley replies, yeah, by me, Maya, like always. And there's something about that I think that could be a setup or a foreshadow to a future episode's storyline where it's Riley's turn to take a break from Maya. Because maybe she's frustrated, I don't know, for having to do most of the work or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I can definitely relate when she said that because I was that student. Like I hated group assignments because I was always the one that did everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, And like, I actually, like, one assignment I actually got a girl, like, because she didn't do anything, and I did not want her to get an A because I did all the work, so I actually told the teacher. I was, like, in middle school, and so I don't think he gave her an F, but probably a D or something, but I was just, like, really frustrated. I was like, I did everything, so, yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
but you didn't do anything, man, so. Yeah,
was that in high school or?
No, that was middle school
Okay.
that I did that. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, do you have any other final thoughts? Or?
No, I think that's it. Just. Yeah.
Now we're gonna spend 2 hours talking about New Year. I'm just kidding. Oh man, I wrote a lot of notes. Okay, so we'll start with the positives.
Okay.
We'll go first.
Okay, positives. I liked being back in English class with Mrs. Harper, and I think I definitely liked how she's written better this episode. Like, just like, not that I didn't like her before, but it just felt more natural this time. And I liked the whole comparison with Sense and Sensibility, but comparing Riley and Maya to Sense and Sensibility. That was both clever and on the point. And I liked how the opening scene coming into the episode called back to the opening in New World. Well, but except this time they flip sides with Maya in avoidance mode, in denial, and Riley wanting to get her to talk about it. And they also kind of have an honest discussion here. So while it's kind of copying that in the first scene in New World, they takes on a different form. Yeah. And I liked Farkle and Riley having the secret between them, which I think could have been dragged on a little longer. And I like the on the clock bit being on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I think considering this episode ended on another cliffhanger, I feel like they could have dragged on this secret between Farkle and Riley sharing this a little longer, because it really hasn't been that long.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh yeah, I loved, again, Smackle was back in this episode, which of course I love Smackle, and I liked how Farkle and Smackle were the only functional couple, and the only people who have to put that label at couple on themselves. Everyone else is like in limbo. So that was interesting. And I liked the sweaters they were wearing. That was funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, big positive was Topanga finally hugs Riley.
Oh no, me too. That was for me too.
And yeah, just a sweet, genuine moment. And then Corey and Topanga's side moments with each other, just I enjoyed. And Corey and Topanga both comforting Maya. It was sweet. And yeah, I liked how Riley made the conscious decision or the mature decision to kind of break things off with Charlie, not leading him on anymore. Just because, I don't know, I have mixed feelings about the other parts of the episode that just, I don't necessarily think she likes, or she's as sure of her feelings for Lucas as Farkle seems to think she is. But but I like that she like she's not leading Charlie on anymore. So, and yeah, I don't know. I think that's it for now. I might. There's a little more, but you can go ahead.
You have more positives, or?
I don't know. I guess I also like the bit where Charlie walks over to Corey and Topanga to pick a game or something, and Corey says she's naming the games, and he says something, "Oh, you won't be playing Twister," and then Charlie picks out the couples game, and he's like, "Oh, I wouldn't," and then anyways, that was. But no, you go ahead with your positives.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that finally, like, it's clear now what that something was that happened between Lucas and Maya, because when in Girl Meets Texas, when she's like, oh, something happened between us, I was like, is it something that we didn't see, like a kiss or something, like an actual kiss? But it turns out it was just the thing we actually saw, which was the face grabbing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just happy that I finally knew what they were talking about. And I thought it was funny but gross, the whole like ketchup on mac and cheese thing, because I felt the same way as Maya, like that was disgusting, but it was still funny at the same time. So I don't know, I just thought, I don't know, I kind of like, I like that they did that. It's just like a little funny thing.
Oh yeah, I've seen people do that before, and I don't get it. I don't.
I know. Oh, I know a guy who puts ketchup, like eats pasta with ketchup instead of like marinara sauce. It's so disgusting. Like I thought he was joking when he told me he eats it that way, but he actually does. I'm like, oh, oh god, oh gosh, okay, I'm gonna gag. And then yes, just like you, Topanga hugging Riley. That was so. I'm like, yes, finally. We had to wait so long. And then again, like you, this Smackle. I think she added a lot to this episode. I'm so happy to see her. And then just like her funny lines, and then kind of keeping up the whole thing with Lucas about like how he's like supposedly hitting on her and all that stuff. It's just funny. And then about like, oh, and then when she said that line like, oh, jealousy doesn't look good on you or something, but even though everything else does. That was just a really funny line. And then like Farkle's like, what? And then she's like, oh, was I not supposed to say that? But I think that has to do with like her autism, because Americans sometimes do that. But and then I also, like you, I also like the moment between Maya and Corey and Topanga. That was really sweet. And I agree with you as well about how, it was good that, Riley ended things with Charlie, even though I did like Charlie, but, you shouldn't, she shouldn't lead him on and everything. So it's good that, she ended it before, it got serious. Mm-hmm. And I also like that he handled it well, because I felt like someone at that age might just be a jerk about it, and might be, they start, kids, young kids. It's not even young kids, but like even adults now, they're really mature, and if you reject them, they're like, they all of a sudden they're like, they just become really mean towards you and just like hate you and everything. And he handled it well. So it was nice to see that, especially because I know some people thought he was being creepy because it was like just popping up everywhere. And so it kind of made me think like, okay, if he gets rejected, it's going to freak out because he seems like he's really into her. But he handled it well. So it was just kind of like completely opposite, I think, of what you would think because of the way he was acting before, like just showing up everywhere. And I actually thought that was funny. I saw, comments, on Facebook or something. People are saying like he was like, they were like, oh, Charlie's abusive, or he's gonna be abusive, or something. Like, okay, calm down. Like, it's just funny. I don't think he was being that creepy. He wasn't like showing up at her room, like just that would be like stalkerish. He just really liked her. You could just tell. So yeah, good for you, Charlie. You handled it like a man. Thank you.
I also liked how Charlie's bond with Augie.
I know, that's the next thing I was gonna say.
Okay.
Yes, I love that little moment between them. That was awesome. That made me more sad that like we probably won't see Charlie anymore, because I was like, oh, they have like it would be nice if if Charlie and Riley did date, and then like, you know, Charlie and Augie had this like little, you know, big brother, little brother relationship. So I was like, why did you do this? Like, you gave us this moment, and now we probably won't get any more because Charlie probably won't be back. Like, all of a sudden, he won't be in their classes anymore. Conveniently. But did you want to say something else about that? Yeah.
I think I read an interview with Rowan, and apparently he's back in the season finale.
Oh,
so, I don't know.
Yay. Oh, Charlie. He's a good guy, just like he said. It's like, hi, I'm a good person.
And yeah, I also like that bit in the cafe with when we see Riley and Maya reading, and apparently Maya can only read 7 pages in 3 hours. But I liked how Riley was questioning. I don't know how Charlie does it, in that he always finds out everything. And I also like the British accent she puts on, trying to copy the book.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think she actually did a pretty good accent.
Yeah, well, I don't think I'm not really the best judge to know whether or not she did a good job, but to me it sounded pretty good.
I'm not saying I don't know if I'm a good judge, but like to me it sounded good. Because I try, because I love a lot of British shows and movies, and I can't. So I'm like, well, she sounds better than me, so so I think it's probably better than what I can do. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Now, go start with your negatives.
Yeah. Well, I also liked the Smackle's. I think you said it anyways. The comments to Lucas, and then also her comments to Riley about saying she's gonna be with Farkle at midnight. Again, putting that, I guess, subtlety on Riley and Farkle, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, down the line. But yeah. I don't know, dislikes. I don't know if I have much, but just Lucas's outbursts in class. Like, they've done this before, and it just doesn't work for his character. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that's it. But yeah.
That's all. The only negative you have?
Well, I have other things that are kind of more in the final thought category. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, if you want to go ahead.
Oh man. Okay. I think a lot of people are gonna hate me now. But Farkle, you messed up, man. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, maybe you didn't mess up, but I was not happy. I'm not gonna freak out and I'm like, oh my god, I hate this show, I hate Farkle. No, I don't hate Farkle. But okay, first of all, like I said in Texas, like I don't like that Farkle's like, I'm gonna tell everyone how you feel. Like, it's not. I'm sorry, it's not your business. Even though you think she should, it's still not your place to do it. Like, just because you think someone should do something doesn't mean like you have to like force them to do it, or you should do it instead. I don't know, but I just still like I just don't think it's his place to do it. And then I did not like when, you know, they were talking in the coffee shop outside, and then he said that Maya doesn't know how she feels. I just thought that was kind of insulting to Maya, and I'm just like, okay, you say she doesn't know how she feels, like why would, and how do you know how she feels, and like, and Riley feels, like just it's their issue, you know, with Lucas, let them figure it out. You don't have to be so nosy. Just kind of be there for your friends, like, you know, if something happens, be there to support them and everything, but don't try to like butt in. So I feel like he was butting in. And then I didn't really like when at the party when, you know, I think Lucas sat down first and then Maya sat down next to him at the bay window, and then Riley comes in and sits next to him. I'm just like, can you, like, why are you doing that? Like, I just wanted Maya and Lucas to have a moment by themselves, like, because I felt like now she was like trying to like get in, and I'm just like, just kind of like give them time. Like, I thought you wanted to, you know, you were just kind of staying back so, you know, Maya and Lucas can do their thing, and then you just sit right there. Like, I didn't like that. I just thought that was kind of like, just let them, you know, give them their little space. Don't be, you know, around. Like, like if I was Maya, I'd be kind of annoyed. Like, I'm trying to like talk to this guy I like, and these people are like not giving us any time to talk. Like, I don't know. I didn't really like that Riley did that. And then, you know, then Charlie popped up, so it's like, oh, okay, you know. Even though it was, you know, it was funny that he did that because, you know, he was like popping up everywhere. But like, I just didn't like that they ruined the moment, because I did want to see like some kind of a little bit more interaction between Maya and Lucas, because I don't really know what's going on there. Like, because you don't really see much of like too many moments of between them, you know, by themselves.
Well, they did have a nice moment on the roof.
But yeah, but I wanted more. You know, I'm not saying that like I want them to be together, but like I just want just to see a little bit more of what's going on. Like I don't know, you know. And I just felt like that was a good opportunity there to like, especially because they don't really talk a lot when they went on their dates. Like they barely talk. So I was like, okay, finally we're gonna get to see them, you know, hopefully have a good conversation. And no, Riley just like sits right there before they even get to say anything. So yeah, I just felt like.
Well, yeah, I agree. I found that a little weird that Riley automatically went to sit down.
So here's a lesson, kids. If you have a friend that likes a guy, you know, and you see them talking or like sitting next to each other, just give them their space. Don't like just butt in. That's just a lesson, okay? That's just annoying. So don't think that's a good thing to do. No.
Yeah, especially since we do have Riley saying she does want Maya to figure out like her feelings, like going back to that opening scene. But,
yeah, that's why I thought it was really weird that she did that. I'm like, you're just totally going against what you were saying. And then another negative is that Katie and Sean weren't there, like for New Year's with Maya. Like, what the heck? Like, I felt like that was a good opportunity, and you know, especially after she, you know, Corey and Topanga talked to her about like, you know, being with the people you love or whatever or you care about, and I'm just like, what about Katie and Sean? I'm pretty sure Maya likes them. What the heck? Like, where are they? It's New Year's. It would have been like nice, you know, maybe we could have seen Maya and Sean like finally be a couple or whatever, like get an update, like what's going on between them.
You mean Katie and Sean?
What did I say?
Maya and Sean.
Oh, sorry, Katie and Sean. Oops. Oh my god, sorry. I meant Katie and Sean.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, that way maybe we can get an update, like what's going on, like how they gone in their day, you know what? Like I just felt like it's New Year's, everyone's together, you know, people you love, and like Katie and Sean aren't there, but their daughter, well, Katie's daughter's over there. Like what the heck? And you know, would have also been a good opportunity to see like another Maya and Katie moment. You know, New Year, Happy New Year, yay, my daughter. Okay. So I just thought that was like a big. That was a big piece that was missing, both Katie and Sean. And then, you know, I didn't like when, you know, Farkle was like, oh, I did the right thing, because no, I don't think he did the right thing. It's actually happened to me. It happened to me when I was, I think around their age, like, I think it was 7th grade or something. And it was in the middle of class, and one of my friends, I don't even remember what friend it was, but like she just told the guy that I liked, like, oh, she likes you. And I was just like, oh my god, I was freaking out, and I actually started crying because I was so embarrassed, like, because I just like, I'm like super, I was like super shy and everything, and I definitely did not want him to know. So I was just crying, and I was so mad at my friend. I'm like, how can you do this to me? Blah blah blah. So no, I don't think it's the right thing. I know it's. I mean, that one was a big deal, but like now looking back on it because I was in middle school, but like still like kids, okay, for the younger kids that are watching, don't think that this is a good thing to do, okay? Let people figure out their own issues, support your friends when they need, you need a shoulder to cry on, need someone to talk to, support them, but don't butt in. Don't go and tell the guy that your friend likes, don't go tell that guy that your friend likes him, unless maybe, I don't know, she's like, tell him or something, but if she says stay out of it, then stay out of it, because you could cause drama. And I also have a friend who sometimes he likes to create drama, and he'll just go and spill secrets, and that's not a very nice thing, because it just creates more problems. So kids, do not do that. I think that was a mistake for Farkle to do that, but this I don't know. And then the ending, I thought it was, I don't know, I thought it was a little too like dramatic, because especially for their age, like I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was just a little like too much, because I'm just like, they're talking about love and everything, and they're in middle school, like, because they're gonna start high school soon. But I know the writers like tweeted, like, oh, Corey and Topanga said I love you on the third season or second season or something, but I don't know. I'm just like, are these kids really in love? Like, they're still growing up. So, and I just felt like it was really awkward, like them sitting next to each other, but I don't know. I just didn't really know what to think. I thought it was too, just like, I guess a little too dramatic for a middle school show. I don't know. And then Nose, that's another negative. I think it would have been cool to hear his little quips here and there, throughout the show. He always, has some.
And why wouldn't Riley invite him to the party?
Yeah, it seemed like it was like
they're friends.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a couples party, and I didn't really like that. Or like, what, only couples allowed? That's kind of messed up. Because Andre was like, oh, everybody's with somebody, so yeah.
Or just continuing my theory that they can't seem to have a sixth friend. It's always 5 friends.
Oh.
It's either 4 or 5 friends. They can't seem to have a 6th friend.
Mm-hmm. And then that's about it for the negatives. So.
I'll just comment on what you said about when you said about Farkle. How when Farkle said, "I don't think Maya knows how she feels," and I agree with what you said, and I think, how can Farkle think Maya's not sure how she feels, but be so sure of how Riley feels?
Yeah.
Like, I think they're both confused. They're both figuring things out. So it just, and in terms of, like, I don't think Farkle should have made the announcement he did. Like,
that was another thing, like, when he did it in front of everyone, that's messed up. Like, at least, okay, if you're gonna do it, just do it in front of the people that it involves. Lucas and Maya, that's it. Or just tell Lucas, but don't announce it in front of everyone, because now it's like, it's none of their freaking business. So that made me really mad too. So kids, do not spill personal information, secrets, your friend's secrets in front of people. That's messed up. Your friends are not gonna like you. Don't do it. Okay.
Hey. Okay. Your screen froze for a second.
Okay.
But going on that note, going back to belief, I didn't like, how at the end of when they're done presenting, how Farkle says what he does to his friends about, like, how he's happy they all found each other. Like, I mean, I like what he said. I just wish it didn't happen in front of the class.
Oh.
I mean, cut to the next scene where they have a private moment. But yeah. But yeah, going back to Farkle putting Riley on the clock. So I don't think he's the one who should have made that announcement, but sometimes, like, I feel like Farkle's intentions were good. I don't think he necessarily did the right thing at the end in his announcement, but his intentions were good, and he was thinking, like, of his, like, I guess the whole group of them as a friends, their friendship, and not wanting to see that destroyed. But but I think sometimes having outside pressure is a good motivator, not to, because if you don't have that pressure, sometimes you can just procrastinate forever, which isn't good either. But yeah, again, I don't think he should have announced anything, but especially since Riley's not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that too. Like, yeah, I think, like, privately he should have maybe told her, like, yeah, you need to tell him. You know, like, I've done stuff like that too with friends, like, oh, you need to do this, or, you should really do this because, or, this is going to happen if you don't. But, like, don't do it for them. Like, let them do it. So that's kind of like, I wouldn't have minded if he just kept telling her privately, like, you should really do it, you should really tell him, and try to, like, explain to her, why she should, and, like, kind of let her do it, hopefully eventually.
Which is why I think they should have used this in more episodes, not just. And yeah, the whole thing of him saying in love with Lucas, Riley's still in love. I like you, like, they're in the 8th grade. They don't know what love is.
Yeah.
According to Topanga, we're special, but it doesn't happen with everyone.
Yeah, with them, like, I could really feel, like, even before they even said I love you could just, like, kind of, like, everyone knew they loved each other without having to say it, but, like, I feel like right now, like, with these relationships, it's more like they're just learning that it's kind of a crush now, that, it's a big crush, but I don't really get that, like, deep love feeling that I got with Colten and Topanga.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess to go into final thoughts. Well, first of all, I guess with this episode, we find out it follows Texas. And my sarcastic thought is this has been a really long fall in the Girl Meets World universe. I mean, a lot's happened. Think of all these episodes that have come before New Year.
Yeah.
And all these moments that are called back on that we know have. So, like, I don't know. It made more sense when I thought that it made more sense when I put it in my head that Texas to be in the place when spring break would have happened, kind of. But now it's. So yeah, I don't know. And also with the whole, like, I love the English class scenes, but this is before New Year's. They'd be on Christmas break. They wouldn't be in school.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, wouldn't you be on break by now? So.
And, like, maybe they could have done what they did in the game night episode last year, where they flashed back on the class scenes, the school scenes. But yeah, so, and and also just I found out after this episode that Josh was initially supposed to be in this episode.
Aww.
I think when they were ready to film it, that was after his accident, so they had to write him out. And I'm just wondering how differently the episode would have been had Josh been in it.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too, like because I was wondering if Maya still had feelings for him, because when she got the card that said like, "Oh, have you ever loved two people at once?" I thought like that was, I wasn't sure if that wasn't like the reason she ate it was because of Lucas or because of her. Because like Lucas might love both of them, or because she likes Lucas and Josh. But since Josh wasn't there, it's like we can't really, you know,
Yeah.
really know. And then when she was like, "I'm confused," and I was like, "What are you confused about? Are you confused about like whether or not you like Lucas? Because I thought you did, or are you confused because you still like Josh and Lucas?" So I didn't really understand what she was confused about, or she was confused because she didn't know if she wanted to like still try to date Lucas because of Riley. So I just wanted in that scene, I kind of wanted her to elaborate a little bit more about like why she was so confused.
Yeah. And yeah, I found it weird Lucas's jealousy during the game.
Oh,
Like, I don't know, he's there with Maya, but he's acting jealous towards Riley and Charlie. And
yeah,
and knowing all the answers for Riley. Like, I
yeah.
don't know.
I felt pretty bad for Maya when he did that. I was like, oh, and then she's like, "Why do you care?" I was like, oh. And then when everyone left and she was just left on the couch, like, yeah, I just felt really bad for her. I'm like, see, Riley, that's why you should have given them their moment. No, she doesn't have that moment. She had a little one up on the roof, but
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
um,
Um, I feel like I have more. Just 1 second.
oh, okay.
um, um, I don't know.
Oh, hey everyone! I got effects on me. Okay.
I'm like, well, what just happened? um, uh, I don't know. I'm just wondering how, like, again, just if Josh had been in this episode, would the triangle with Lucas, Maya, and Riley have been in effect, or would it have been more about Josh and Maya?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or would it, instead of a square, would it have been a hexagon?
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
It's
complicated now.
Yeah. And I just, the part where when it's midnight, Riley, for some reason, to blow the horn to say Happy New Year, she has to walk across the roof.
Oh yeah.
And I feel, and at that moment I kind of saw Farkle eyeing her, thinking maybe she's gonna leave, which is why he said what he did in that moment. Like, we already knew he was gonna do it anyways, but I feel like maybe Riley should just stood up in place and said Happy New Year, and maybe, I don't know if she's gonna add anything else, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, okay. I have just said something else because I've kind of been overthinking this, and I realized I think at this point I'm more in the camp of Lucas and Maya.
Oh.
I feel like they've just been dragging Riley and Lucas on too long. Like, I know you can argue that maybe they were together, but really they weren't. they've been on like 1.5 dates or something. And there's just nothing's really happened with them. And also I was thinking how much I don't want Riley to have the same storyline as her parents. Her to discover the love of her life at such a young age. So I kind of like the friendship route, and yeah, like And then going into this, because like I said, I kind of overthought this.
Yeah.
Despite the fact of having Corey and Topanga as her parents, maybe Riley's the one who maybe she has commitment issues. We kind of like Sean did, like you maybe think, and then kind of flip the Riley Maya thing. Maybe Maya's the one who's becomes more open to that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Might be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you that like I would like a different story for Riley in terms of like finding the guy she liked or whatever. Like when it seemed like they were gonna date her and Lucas, I was like, okay, that's cute, whatever. But that's why I was happy when Charlie came in, because I'm like, oh cool, something different, mix it up. Maybe Lucas and her aren't really gonna be together forever, because in real life you will date several people until you find the right one. So not everyone's gonna find the love of their life when they're little. So I agree that I wouldn't mind if they weren't together. They changed it up. Happy birthday to me. No, I'm just kidding. It's not my birthday. Oh, you have some more?
No, I think I'm pretty well. That's pretty well it.
Okay.
I just like them to do less public stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like when a moment's supposed to be private, let it be private. Like in the classroom scenes, or with the relationship stuff.
Yeah, I think that's probably why, like, I feel sometimes it's a little too over dramatic, like doing all these things in front of people, because I don't think it's appropriate, and they didn't really do that in Boy Meets World, and
No.
that was good that they didn't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, very few times. I think the only time I can remember is when like Corey read that poem that Sean didn't want him to read. But I mean, also like Corey doing that, it was indirect. Like not everyone around him knew who he was talking about, so it wasn't as blatant as like, Sean still loves you, Angela. Like it was a more subtle with the poems. So
also with that, after that, Sean takes Corey outside where.
See.
So that.
See, your friends will not be happy if you do that, kid. So don't do it. And Corey did it in a more subtle way. So that's I think that was a more correct reaction, because I definitely understood Sean feeling that way, because Corey wasn't supposed to do that. So well, I don't know what's up with the writers who contribute. I mean, it's mostly the same writers. I know they have some new ones, but I don't know what happened. Why they thought that was good to do. Maybe they just did it just to create more conflict. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, even when Riley did that to Maya in Texas, part 1, even that was more subtle. Mm-hmm. Well, and again, it was just around the core group of friends.
Yeah.
But also, she doesn't announce anything. She just simply asks Maya a question.
Yeah.
Like, the implication's there, but it's...
And then when she did later say, like, Maya likes you and the campfire, but it wasn't in front of everyone. Even though I didn't really like that she did that either, but it was only in front of the people that it concerned. So the only final thought I have is I hope I've kind of already talked about this, but I hope this doesn't influence young kids to butt into other people's lives and spill their secrets in front of people. That was like my big hope of like, oh God, I don't think it's setting a good example. I know not everyone watches television and it's like, I'm gonna do that, but there are some people that think, because it's on TV, it's a good thing. No, it's not. Go watch Boy Meets World, okay? They reacted the proper way. So, yes, that was like my only thought. I'm like, oh God, please, I don't want all these like kids like spilling kids' secrets, their friends' secrets, and creating drama. No, drama not good. I hate drama. No, just help your friends. Don't spill their secrets.
Just to be by your friend and motivate them to maybe tell that or help them figure things out, but don't announce it.
Yes, help them. And don't force them to do things or anything. So,
yeah.
And I think that's about it.
Another thought, just to mention the cliffhanger, which with part 3 of Texas, I mentioned how realistic it felt, like the open-endedness. And while that's still true, this is just getting more and more frustrating with how they're not resolving.
Yeah.
And I think a subtle way they could have maybe chosen, not resolved necessarily, but maybe showing us a subtle way they could have shown us where Lucas was leaning is when that scene where they're on the bench at the end. They could have had him look one way, or toward one way or another, just for a second, and then turn back to the center. I don't know. That's one way they could have done something that would have been less frustrating. But yeah.
Yeah. I want to know more about kind of like what you said about the last episode. I want to know more about how Lucas feels, because I feel like they don't really show us that, and I want to see more Lucas and Maya moments, because I just want to have a good sense of how their relationship is. I mean, I don't think they're actually officially dating. I don't know. It seems like I have no idea because they don't show us anything. Yeah. So I just want to because I mean, at least with Riley and Lucas, you got to see kind of them interact more. They got to see their date and everything. And with Maya and Lucas, all you see is them sitting next to each other, not talking. I just want to get a glimpse of that. What? Oh my gosh, what's going on? So maybe that way, I don't know. I feel like we would maybe, I guess, I mean, I already know a lot of, people care about Lucas and Maya, but I don't know, I think it would help me care about their relationship more, or whatever's going on, if they actually showed us a little bit more. Because I feel like the actors, Sabrina and Peyton, have good chemistry, and I feel like it's kind of a shame that we don't really get to see much of that, in terms of their relationship or anything. I was kind of looking forward to that when they were implying that maybe they were going to get together or something. So I'm like, oh cool, we'll get to see kind of them working together more, and maybe we'll get some good moments. But I feel like now we don't really get any good moments because nothing really happens, and then when there is a chance, Riley sits there. It's oh. So I don't know, I would just like to see a little bit more of their whatever's going on. So.
I think we get more Lucas Maya moments in an episode that doesn't have to do with this.
Yeah.
We get those subtle moments in creativity or semi-formal.
Yeah, because I thought those moments were good, so I thought we were going to get more of that, but now it's we get not really anything. And then also when Lucas was when they were having the little moment, between Maya and Lucas, and then I forgot what she asked him, but he's I don't know anymore. I don't know what she asked him, but I was you don't know anymore. Did that game influence you or something? Or are you so if you really care about somebody, you're that easily swayed by a game, it's gonna change your feelings. So a game's gonna change your feelings. I don't know. I was okay, that just makes I think the game just made you doubt everything. Oh, I don't know how I feel anymore because of this game. I don't know. I feel if you really strongly have feelings for somebody, your mind's not gonna be easily changed by a game. I don't know. So forgot what she asked him, but he said like, I don't know anymore. I think like, but he was talking about like, I think the two girls or something.
Was it when I think she asks or he says something like, I was saving the spot for someone, and she's like,
oh
who?
yeah, yeah.
Who? And she's like, oh, I don't even know anymore.
I'd be like, I thought you liked me. Like what? Like, oh, okay, cool. So you don't know if you like me. That's awesome. I feel pretty horrible right now. So yeah, that's how I would have felt if he would have said that. Okay, I'm kind of insulted right now. So I guess that's it. If you have anything else to say.
No, that's pretty much it. I just want, like, next season, I kind of want a better order to these episodes, like in terms of the overlapping storylines.
Yeah.
It's just this, like, we're in New Year's right now, and so does that mean every episode? This has only been half the year, or I don't know. Like, it's confusing. Because I don't know, I like knowing what part of the year we're in with shows or anything. But, yeah.
And whoa, I was gonna say something else.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember it. So okay, so the next episode is going to be.
Girl Meets What?
Oh man, I just had it. I think Girl Meets STEM.
Yeah, and I think it used to be called Sludge, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. So we have like actually 5 more, like Girl Meets STEM. What's the other one? Money. What's the other one? Well, it's loading. Okay, STEM, Money, Communism, Bay Window. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Because I think they go into the future in that one.
And the past, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think we find out how Riley and Maya meet in that one.
And then Girl Meets Legacy. So
I think it's that one. That's the one we're not going to find out any wrap up to this episode, New Year's, until Legacy.
Okay. I just hope before that episode we get to see like at least a Maya and Lucas little date or moment or something some more substantial, because yeah, I just don't think we get enough right now. It's like they're trying to just really push Lucas and Riley, so it's like we don't really need to show what's going on with Maya and Lucas. It's gonna be Lucas and Riley anyway, so yeah. So thank you all for watching. Please leave your comments below about this episode. Belief and New Year. There's a lot. Please be nice. If you disagree with us, just state it in a nice way. Don't be calling us names because we might not like something that a character did. We still like the show. Okay, you can be civil and nice. Okay. So before I end, I just want to let people know I found out about this. I just want to share this. Basically, I don't know if you guys have seen this. There's a girl in New York who she was in a fire, and basically all her siblings and her dad died, and she survived. So that's her. Her name is SAFYRE. She's really cute, and her wish for Christmas is to get Christmas cards. So she's actually gotten some right now. They updated it on Facebook, so that's great. I'm actually going to make her a card. So if you guys want to help out and make her Christmas, here is the address. You can send her a Christmas card. It's her name is SAFYRE. And the address is P.O. Box 6126, Schenectady, New York, 12306, USA. So please, make this, let's, give her a ton of cards and just show her how much, we appreciate her and we really want her to have a great Christmas. It's, I just want her to have a ton of cards for Christmas. So get anything you can. If you're gonna use construction paper or however you can make a card, or if you can't make a card, buy one. But I think it would just be really cool, just like a little, act of kindness would really, brighten her day. Because I mean, this poor girl. I mean, she actually lost a hand and a leg, and she's being a trooper. So if you guys want to help out, I'll post the address in the link. In the description box below as well. So that's spirit of Christmas, spirit of giving. So yeah, so that would be awesome if you guys could do that.
Yeah.
And if you like this channel, 90s channel, you subscribe. Yeah, be awesome. I'm at close to 850. I'm trying to get 10,000 is my ultimate goal, but at 1,000, I'm going to get pied on camera. So don't you want to see me get pied, and then I'm going to show it in slow motion? So wouldn't that be awesome? So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, because that's one of my dreams, getting pied in the face, ever since I saw it on Nickelodeon. So come on, help me out. So I also have my main channel, which is where I usually do the after show and talk about other stuff. So the link is in the description below. So thank you so much, Heavenly Gal, for joining me. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
Hope everyone has a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, we probably won't see
or
you
whatever
guys.
whatever you celebrate, Hanukkah or anything.
Yeah, any holiday you celebrate. Have a great holiday. Have a happy New Year. Probably not gonna do an after show until later. Sean's birthday is actually coming up. I think it's like December 23rd. I might be wrong. So yeah, one of our after show co-hosts is gonna celebrate his birthday, and my birthday is actually gonna be on January 7th as well. So I probably won't see you before then. I'll be 30 by then. I'll be old.
My birthday's in January too.
Oh really? What date?
In the end. The 26th.
Oh my god, it's awesome. So all three of us Girl Meets World after shows in a very short period.
I guess you're a year ahead of me. I'm just...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, we're also going to celebrate birthdays pretty soon. So thank you guys for watching. And yeah, if you comment, I'll give you a shout out on the next after show, which will probably be sometime in January. So that's about it. Send SAFYRE a Christmas card. Yeah. I said so. Okay, I'm just kidding. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Okay. See you next year.
Yeah.